I think I don't know.
So Jean is the most powerful mutant, and at the same time she needs some validation. And we as the audience can understand that part because we all need to be loved and accepted. So what about you as Sophie Turner? Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, I think everyone has. I think, you know, the urge and the need to be accepted, to be validated, I think, you know, I've had times where I'm very, very unsure of myself, and I've had to ask, you know, my mom every step of the way if I'm doing it right, am I doing this right, am I okay, is this good? And yeah, I always feel the need to be validated. I don't think that ever goes away, really. But I become more sure of myself. I'm more inclined to kind of ask myself rather than ask others if this is what I want to do, if this is right, if I'm doing it well, you know. So I always just trust yourself, trust your instincts.
Your character is very interesting because she's a mystery. She came from another planet and she's very powerful, but it's fascinating because it's the villain that always says the truth. She said that Jean needs to liberate her power, and it's very real because you shouldn't fight against what you are, against your power. So considering this about your character, what do you like the most about her?
I like that she inspires Jean to embrace her power.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important that we understand that, you know, women work so hard to try to be perfect, or this idea of what a woman is supposed to look like, what she's supposed to sound like, what kind of mom she's supposed to be, what kind of wife or girlfriend she's supposed to be, all these things. Like, what is a woman supposed to be? What does society deem? And it's important to understand that to have dark thoughts is important because that's what it is to be a human.
It's
and
real,
you don't have the light without the dark. So it's exciting to me because I want women to embrace that a little bit more, to kind of push against these boundaries that have been put on them and actually fight back a bit.
Superhero try to survive in a world that doesn't understand them, and like the mutants, and people is afraid of them and they seek to destroy them, but at the same time they worship them as they need it. So in this, we can compare this with a very special person or a unique person. You can reject them, but if you need it, you can embrace him. So Jean in this film as the Dark Phoenix become everything they fear, like a monster. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, people start to reject her because, you know, she's people are rejecting her because, you know, she's hurting civilians, she's hurting people in the world, and she's causing a lot of destruction. But it's just so funny that, you know, towards the end of the movie, without spoiling anything, when it's convenient, they need her to save the world. So yes, I suppose, yes.
As you said, we have a problem in the entertainment industry, and it's the representation of the women as victims. So we have to be responsible of our strength, and we need to see that in films with this character as Jean, and always with Smith. So what can we do to break that social stereotype and start to write and perform and talk about real women?
Well, I think it's important to understand that everything comes from the individual themselves, right? Their strengths comes from them. Their power comes from them. It's not like it's been bestowed on them from someone else. It's not like, you know, like in our film, Professor X is allowing Jean to be strong, allowing her to be powerful when it suits him.
Okay.
And that's a really interesting thing to explore because actually I don't know that that's accurate. And I think we have to look at our society, we have to look at characters, we have to look at these depictions of women and say, well, is it coming from them? Or are we saying that someone else gave her that strength?
What do you think about the idea of mystique that an ex-woman film?
Oh, I mean, I think that would be really interesting to watch a film full of just the ex-women. I think, I think, you know, as she says in this movie, the women seem to be the most powerful in saving the guys' butts around here. So that would be really interesting to see all these really powerful females kind of come together and do a movie of their own. Yeah, I would love that.